And then you got Bill C11 here in Canada. That's basically an internet censorship bill. Now, I know it wasn't positioned like that, but when you start reverse engineering it, you're basically looking at it as somebody within the government is going to say, that's approved and that's not. And if it's not, you got to take it down. It's like censorship at its finest. How is that the kind of world that I want to live in or have my kids be consumed by on computers all day? No. It's not happening. Not in my world, not with my family. And speaking of which, with the media, like it's so obvious. Anybody that says like, oh, you can't say that everything on the mainstream legacy media is not true. That's not what I'm saying at all. Of course they report truth. But there's also a level of censorship and a filtering of what the real story is that how could you ever trust that? Their hands are in the pockets. The politicians have their hands in the pockets of the media. We're being fed what they want us to see and what they want us to hear. So again, my choice is turn it off, which is what I do. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. How can you? Both sides are screaming misinformation, disinformation. It's just absolute insanity. There's no point in even paying attention to it. You just got to turn it off. Another reason, right? I'm going to go turn it off and I'm going to sit by the beach. I'm going to go surfing and hang out with my kids. I'm going to focus on my clients, working with my clients and the change makers of the world that I know that I can create impact with. I'm not going to worry about all this political crap. But there are major reasons why that's playing into why we're leaving. And it is the authoritarianism. It is the mandates. You know, we may not agree on vaccine conversation versus unvaccinated. And that's okay. We have every right to disagree and still respect each other and still love each other. But when our right to freely move is restricted due to mandates that are not scientifically based, when our government chooses to implement emergency acts that give them the authority to freeze bank accounts, I know people say, oh, well, it could be worse. You could be living in China and North Korea. Well, yes, of course, that would be worse. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's arguing with anybody about whether it would be worse to live in North Korea where you can't even question the government. And if you said something online, you might disappear. Of course, that is horrible. But when we live in a democracy in a Western culture that is now saying that this is what you can and can't do, can and can't say, and if you don't like it, we're going to shut you down. We're going to censor, we're going to shut down your voice, and we're going to potentially lock your ability to be able to make an income or even freeze your assets. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm out of here. Like, I'm not dealing with that. And some people might say like, well, you can't be bailing on your country. Like, you should just be riding it out like the rest of us, knowing that within 3 years, we could vote out this government and then have a new government. And yeah, but like, do the math on that. That's 3 more years of this stuff being implemented. That is 2 more years to even transition out of all of these crazy ass policies that our government's putting in place. That's 5 years from now. My kids are 10, 9 and 10 by then. I'm almost 50. I got 5 years of kick-ass surfing to do. I ain't got time to stick around for this at all. At all. That's another major reason why we're leaving. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch the full unedited episode, go ahead and click over here. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks so much.